ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Monday, December 16th, we are here at the Cam Henderson Center for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Good to be back with you. Let's get our text line open this hour. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got a lot to get into. A lot has happened since we were last together on Saturday. Marshall defeated Ohio on Saturday, 79-70. We're back here for tonight's contest against West Virginia Wesleyan. That's going to tip off a little bit after 7 o'clock. So we've got basketball to get into, and we'll do that a little bit more in detail. We've got our basketball pregame show coming up at 6 o'clock. So we'll get into this one a little bit further. We've got a busy night. Marshall and basketball, of course, the Thundering Herd poised to win its second ever College Cup. Second national title. That's coming up tonight on ESPN2. And so I'm sure a lot of people are going to be split between maybe watching this one and keeping an ear, keeping an eye on the Marshall men's soccer team taking on Vermont. So for those of you who maybe want to keep an ear on the game, we got you covered right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and on 93.7 The Dog. So looking forward to bringing you all that action tonight. We got a lot to get into, but before we do that, earlier here at the Henderson Center, we were setting up the broadcast. And I don't know how many of you locally felt it, but we felt it here in the Henderson Center. At first I thought, okay, something has crashed into the building or there's something going on outside. And turns out that the area experienced an earthquake. It's about a mile outside of Chesapeake. It was registered as a 3.3. So if you were wondering what that was, well, it was an earthquake that was registered about a mile outside of Chesapeake. And it went about 3.3. That was the magnitude of it. So hopefully everyone is fine and we're past that. But that was really interesting for a few minutes here at the Henderson Center. Some people who were outside the arena thought, maybe the scoreboard fell. Nobody knew what was going on. So that was an exciting way to get our day started here at the Henderson Center. And I wish that was the total drama that we've been dealing with here over the last few days. But we got to get into what's been going on with the Thundering Herd. And I'm sure a lot of you have things to say. So we'll get the text line started at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're going to try to get to every text as much as we possibly can, because I know there's a lot of people who want to talk and react about the news that we heard over the weekend that Marshall University had declined its invitation to the Independence Bowl. And we're going to try to make that make sense for a lot of Herd fans, because there was a lot of angst, a lot of anger. A lot of people understood what the reasons were. So we'll get your text lined up with that just a few minutes. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter just wrote in and said, Paul, and this is regarding the earthquake. At 20 minutes till 5, we were standing in the kitchen and our house was shaken. An earthquake. Felt like it to me. Yep, that's at least that's the reports we were getting. 3.3 magnitude. So hopefully we're done with that. I'd hate to have one or two more of those happening while we're trying to play a basketball game tonight. But of course, everybody, I'm glad. Hopefully, no problems, nothing reported. Just a little quick shaking here. We seem to be fine here at the Henderson Center. But again, a lot of people thought, they were outside the arena area, because right now it's just me. I think it's me. A couple of people are in and out, and everybody else that's working, they're outside of the arena. So first thought was, oh, man, the scoreboard has fell. Oh, no. So a lot of people came in looking for that. But, yeah, earthquake, 3.3 magnitude. So that's where we're at. So we'll get more of your texts in. And, again, we're going to open that up. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I know we're a couple of days removed from the announcement. Marshall University had to decline its invitation to the Independence Bowl against Army. And the concern was team roster changes, player safety. And we're not just talking about the roster. We're talking about coaching staff as well. I don't have an official head count yet, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are maybe tracking social media a little bit more than I am. But there are a lot of people that are at other jobs now, or they're leaving Marshall for other jobs. Coaching staff, your head coach leaves, and so a lot of coaches are going to leave possibly with him, or, Coach Dagey, he took a different opportunity elsewhere. So this opens up a huge hole as far as the coaching staff is concerned. And then you have the transfer portal, which opens up, and a lot of players deciding to, our coach isn't here. We're going to leave, or we're going to put ourselves in the transfer portal. And that has caused a major, major disruption of Marshall's roster. Now, and I've seen a lot of people throw out numbers, and I've seen a lot of the so-called national media with their hot takes about how Marshall should be playing this game, how Marshall had enough players, there are enough bodies that could have played this game, how dare they. First of all, shut up, sit down, and find out what's happening. Then you can have your hot take, because a lot of people are looking at this from the outside looking in. We don't know the entire situation with the roster. We have a good idea, but we don't have the official number. How many players are here? How many players are gone? How many players have, honestly, enough experience to maybe take over a position? And I've seen a lot of the numbers. It's, from what my count is, it's in the 30s. It's in the high 30s. That's my count. But I have been told that it's in the 40s at least. And there's just not enough players to safely field a football team. And that's the big issue that has been relayed to me. And I'm not going to question it. I'm not out there doing complete head count of, okay, you know what? This freshman here, you're the quarterback now. Go out there, throw the ball. Throw the ball so we can have this bowl game. But the transfer portal has decimated this team. The impact of NIL has changed the college football landscape. The coaching changes have decimated how this team, the structure of this team between the championship game to now. Your coach leaves, staff leaving, players leaving. Is it worth going out with just any available body to play this game? Is it worth it? You tell me, because I've seen it both ways. I've seen a lot of people outraged about how Marshall has quit and how embarrassing this is for the university to just decline the invitation. I've seen some of the talking heads, the commissioner of the AAC putting out a statement, making a statement. Of course, he's going to be proactive towards Army. The commissioner of bowl season, which is basically a lobbyist. He's a lobbyist. Of course, he's going to be advocating for the bowl. But is this really the worst thing that could possibly have happened? Or would Marshall going out there with players that maybe don't necessarily want to be there? And keep this in mind. We've talked about the transfer portal and how it has ruined college football. Yes, and I get that. I completely understand. But if players are going to leave, they can always just opt out of the bowl game. If you put the transfer portal on lock until after the bowl game, if there are players that are going to leave, they can just decline to be in the bowl. Have we thought about that? And, of course, there's a lot of health and safety concerns out there. And if you're going to tell me that, Paul, we want to play the game, we can't do it and feel good about putting our players at risk. We don't have enough players to be out there. It's not a good situation. It would be worse if we sent what team we had out there. And there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that maybe hasn't been said just yet that led to this decision. And we've reached out. Yeah, hopefully we can eventually get Christian Spears. I've reached out. No declining or acceptance of that just yet, but I have reached out. And I hope that we can at least have him on in the future. But I have reached out, and I'll reach out again. We've got a soccer championship, hopefully, to go win tonight for the Thundering Herd. But the one man that I'm sure that can maybe clear this up for a lot of Herd fans is Christian Spears. He can explain the timeline, hopefully. And if we can get him on, I would love to get him on. So, he knows this, and if he doesn't, hopefully it'll get back to him. He's got an open invite anytime. He can be on the show, and we'll sit down. We'll have a real honest conversation, and he can explain the decision behind all this and why it led to this and how Marshall could have maybe done it better, or how Marshall did the very best it could with the situation presented in front of him. So we've got that invitation out. Hopefully we can get him on the program here in the near future. But at the same time, you've got my take on it. What do you think Marshall should have done? Why are you upset about this? Or are you in agreement with Marshall? Why Marshall's not participating in the bowl game? Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And if you're mad about this, tell me why. Tell me why you're upset and angry about this. And if you're in agreement, tell me why as well. But I really want to hear from those of you that if you're upset about this, don't just go post something half-cocked on social media. Let me know. I want to hear about it. Take your time, but give me your take on this. What's your point of view? And I've heard different points of view from different people. Yeah, I've spoken to a couple of people who were pretty upset that, hey, look, we fought for the right to have freshmen play, and now this. And I thought about that. Yes, Marshall was a trailblazer in that legislation, but we're talking about getting teams ready to go for the start of the season. We're not talking about throwing people at the last second with about a couple weeks ago to get ready to take on Army. We got about a couple weeks ago here. And some of the things I hear from a lot of people, not just from fans, but from players, and again, your take will be different, I'm sure. But the bowls just don't mean as much anymore. And I've said that for years. Hey, look, the bowls they're not that meaningful. They're fun. I'm not a big fan of them. If the kids like them and if the kids want to go to them, I'm all for it. But honestly, it's not that meaningful in the grand scheme of things. You've got players that are looking at leaving, teams that are in the playoff. And part of it is because, well, they want to look for a new opportunity and they don't want to get left behind. And there are others that, well, I've got a better offer here. I got to leave now. But it all comes down to the reason for each individual. Does this game mean anything to that person that is making that decision? Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. From the text line we go. Texter says, Paul, I really wish we could have played in the bowl game, but I understand why Marshall dropped out. From what I understand is we didn't have enough players, and that's my understanding as well. And again, I'm hoping eventually we'll get a chance to sit down. I know there's a lot on his plate right now, but I put the invitation out. I would like to get Marshall Athletic Director Christian Spears to come on with me and just have a conversation about it. Just tell me what the process was, why you made the decision, how you came to that decision. And I think that if he had a chance to just sit down and tell everybody what he can tell us about why that decision was made and just have an honest conversation, I think most people would understand. I think that's fair. So we'll continue to invite him. He's always welcome on the program. And we're going to make sure that he understands that, look, just give us an idea. Tell us why it happened. Explain it to us. And that's all we're looking for. So we'll get more of your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. One more text before we hit the break. Texter says, Paul, it is embarrassing to have to back out of the bowl. But on the other hand, it would be more embarrassing to send a team other than what the Independence Bowl bargained for. And I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, the Sun Belt champions are gone. The team is no more. That team is gone. I mean, Coach Huff alluded to that weeks ago. Hey, this game is probably going to be the last time that this collection of players, this is it. This is the last game. There's no next week. It's this game. And that was the JMU game. And then you got the extra opportunity to play for the championship. You won the championship. And then everything just started to fall the way it fell. Coaching changes. Am I optimistic for the future? Yes. Am I disappointed for the players that remain that might have wanted to go to that bowl? Yes. Am I disappointed for you? Yes, because there are a lot of people who love the bowls. Doesn't matter if I like them or not. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I just don't think they're worth that much. I don't think, but people enjoy going, following the herd. It's one more football game. And nobody is right or wrong here. It's just I don't think that the bowls have that much value. The big thing for me is, can you get this team to a championship in your conference? Yes. Can you get this team to the college football playoff? Yes. That's what I'm looking for here. That's what I want to see the Thundering Herd get into. You know, if you look at all the other sports, except football, and really the 12-team playoff is a start, but everything is decided with a playoff. Soccer, which Marshall has an opportunity to win the national championship tonight. Basketball, hockey, everything. We do it with a playoff. Teams that get in play for the championship. Teams that don't get in, they retool and they rebuild for next year. The bowl situation is completely different. I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of it. Unfortunately, it's not going away. It's not going to change. We're going to have the 12-team playoff, which everyone's going to focus on. And even then, we're going to have bowls, which I don't know if players want to play in these things, to be quite honest. Have we really thought about that? Do they want to go to a bowl game? Does it really mean that much? Think about it. We'll hit the text line when we continue. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this for days. But we've also got basketball here tonight at the Cam Henderson Center. I'm looking forward to that with you. We'll talk about it at 6 o'clock with our pregame show. But live from the Henderson Center, more coming up, including your texts on this edition of The Drive. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicki Tabor, 304-272-5149. Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavallette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA. Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
This Christmas, Best Deal Equipment is grateful for you and our amazing community. We want to express our thanks for your continued support, our loyal customers. Stop by and check out our gas ATG excavators. On sale now for $4,200. Best Deal Equipment, Ripley, West Virginia. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from Thoroughbred Express Car Wash. Looking for the perfect holiday gift? Give the gift of a clean, shiny car with a Thoroughbred Express gift card. It's the gift card that keeps on giving, keeping the ride fresh and spotless all year long. And don't miss out on our 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. Starting December 13th, we're giving away amazing prizes every day. Visit our Facebook page and join the holiday fun. Drive clean this Christmas with Thoroughbred Express Car Wash. Online at thoroughbredexpress.com.
The holidays are the most cherished time of the year, but Jack's Auto Upholstery would like you to remember to continue these moments into the new year, not just during the holidays. And if you plan to celebrate, please be safe. From all of us to all of you, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Jack's Auto Upholstery, Pomeroy, Ohio, 740-508-1126. That's 740-508-1126.
Here's another Kindred Communications Community Chatter. Salvation Army looking for volunteer bell ringers this Christmas. Funds raised through the Red Kettle campaign go directly to support local programs around the tri-state. They're looking for churches, businesses, school groups, fraternities, and sororities, and families. Give them a call at the Salvation Army in Huntington.
This is Kindred Communications Community Chatter presented by Lulu's, the Tri-State's premier smoke shop.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're here at the Cam Henderson Center for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of us today. We're going to get your text in just a moment, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Okay, right now on X, I don't know how many of you guys follow the Thundercast, those folks over there. You got a giveaway going on right now. For anyone who needs tickets for the game, they've got a contest right now, and apparently I'm the only one that's entered their contest, so I'm giving those guys a shout-out. Thundercast _pod on X. Those guys are giving away a pair of tickets to the game, so if you're looking to come to the game tonight and you want to get a quick pair of tickets, check those guys out on X. If not, they're all my tickets tonight. All right, let's get to the text line. And again, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. First up, texter says, Paul, I think bowls are both losing their luster and still something you have to strive to be in. Recruiting, perception, the extra practice time, etc. And those are valid points because you get that extra time. Depending on when the bowl is, you get to space it out a little bit more. But that was something that a lot of times Marshall in the playoffs thrived in because Marshall got all of that extra practice time and extra time to work things out, be a team. And that benefited Marshall for the longest time, especially in the 1AA days. So the Thundering Herd is truly missing out on that. But with the transfer portal, you're not missing it out, really. And, oh, by the way, the folks at the Thundercast said, hey, Paul, we got 6 tickets total. Okay, I'm sorry, 6 tickets. Love those guys. They do a fantastic job. They do an outstanding podcast if you haven't checked those guys out. So head on over now, and 6 tickets. If you guys don't want them, they're all mine. I'm gonna sit in 6 seats tonight here at the Henderson Center. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, I used to be opposed to the idea of the SEC and the Big Ten and other major conferences breaking away to do their own thing, but now that the SEC and Big Ten are all so big, they can just break away themselves and do whatever they want. Then the remaining conferences that are left behind, including the Big 12 and the ACC, along with the Sun Belt and others, can create a real playoff for a national championship where all the conference championships go to the playoff. The SEC and Big Ten can have their minor league NFL championship, and the rest of us can play for an NCAA championship. It's a good idea. I think what might happen, though, is you might have the Big Ten, the SEC, and possibly the ACC and the Big 12 splinter away anyway. You might see those leagues decide, okay, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. It's been real. Thank you. And that would carry over, I'm sure, to basketball as well, or maybe they leave for football. I don't know what the ultimate end game will be, but it almost feels like it might be better if those leagues do their own thing. But I don't want to have a situation where we've got a consolation national championship. If you've got the majority of the leagues in this thing, I think that would be a good idea. And just let the Big Ten and SEC have your Big Ten SEC challenge after your conference championships. We'll just bracket it out. Let you guys have your own thing. It'd be fun to watch. I'd be cool with it. But at the same time, you've got a situation where it's decided on the field and every other sport. And yes, the bigger schools have a greater chance of winning, but there's always that upstart. I mean, look at soccer. Vermont. Nobody heard of Vermont until this season, for the most part. I'm sure they've been around for a long time, but they could put their soccer program on the map tonight, just the way Marshall did a few years ago. It's apples and oranges, but still, it's the same concept. You get a playoff, you have an opportunity. Teams get a chance to compete for a national championship. Makes it exciting for everyone. Also from the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texture says, Paul, people are on the administration saying we are quitters. Do you really think they would leave $2 million on the table if it wasn't necessary? I think they weighed their options and did what was best for the health and safety of the players that remained. You look at your options and go, okay, what's this worth? And let's be fair about this. Do you think that Marshall was just going to pocket $2 million? How much of that money does Marshall really get to keep? How much money will Marshall actually get to clear? This is not necessarily a money-making venture at this level. Sure, it's a higher payout than some of the other bowls, but Marshall and other schools have had a hard time breaking even when it comes to the bowl games. They might get to pocket some cash, but I think Marshall has worked this out where, yes, the Sun Belt put out a statement. Yes, it broke on the internet before Marshall could put out a statement. But I don't think we're looking at it from the standpoint, okay, what's more important, $2 million, or we're in a situation where it might not be safe to put a football team out there for the sake of playing a football game. I'm always going to lean towards, hey, let's take care of the student athletes. Let's take care of the kids. Let's not put them in a situation that's going to be harmful. I'm always going to lean towards that. And I understand, $2 million is a lot of money, but I don't think that we looked at it that way and thought, oh, hey, look, we got to go cash this check here. All right, well, how many do we have enough? Can we field a team? No, I think it was looked at from the lens of what's going to be in the best interest of the kids that remain and the players' health and safety. What's going to be in the best interest? Also from the text line, texture says, Paul, watch some good basketball in the win over Ohio. It was a good win. Appreciate the text. Yeah, it was a good win. It was against Ohio. Made it even better. 79-70 victory over a former conference rival. Play that game always. Play that game always. I mean, Michael Dawson, 27 points, 6 3-pointers. Obina Anachili Killen had a double-double. Marshall shot 53% from the field. Everybody was looking good. Marshall dominated. Wasn't a situation where I thought at any point, well, oh, okay, they're going to fall. This is where the herd's going to falter. I felt good about Marshall the entire time. Marshall led 36 minutes and 47 seconds. 40-minute game, Marshall led for almost 37 minutes. And you get a halftime lead. You don't give it up. Now, Ohio did cut it to 7. It was 15 points at one point in the second half, and Ohio did cut it to 7. But I felt like Marshall was not going to give that lead up. I didn't feel like, oh, okay, this is starting to fall apart. I felt like, okay, we got runs. They're going to make their run. Then Marshall's going to go make its run. Marshall's ahead. I didn't feel bad at all about anything I saw out there. And I'm sure Coach will have some things he wants to clean up. Every coach has something. But I felt good. And I'm hoping that Nate Martin hits the first three-point tonight. That's my hope. I'm hoping he hits the first three-pointer of the game. That's my three-point shot prediction. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Here from the Cam Henderson Center, more coming up, including your text on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The holidays come but once a year, and Masterforce is here to spread some cheer with drivers and drills and blades and bits. From sanders and saws to power tool kits, Menards has the value and savings, of course. Shop tools and accessories from Masterforce. Find great stocking stuffers and gifts at Menards. Plus, don't forget about gift cards. Hurry now for deals on Masterforce. Available at Menards, the best tool source.
Elite Welding Academy wishes you a Merry Christmas and a bright new year filled with endless possibilities. Whether you're starting a new career or advancing your skills, Elite Welding Academy is here to help you succeed. Visit EliteWeldingAcademy.com and start your welding future.
You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. Scraggle Pop kettle corn has become a favorite snack throughout the tri-state area, and they are now expanding beyond. This Christmas season, come visit Scraggle Pop at the Huntington Mall, the Ashland Town Center, Food Fair, and a number of great tri-state retailers. They have an assortment of delicious flavors like cinnamon, caramel, Chicago blend, and of course the original blend of kettle corn that started it all. Grab your favorite kettle corn blend along with a frozen sweet tea, lemonade, or hot apple cider. Take home a beautiful Christmas tin for yourself or as a gift for family and friends. Scraggle Pop also offers many sports team tins for the sports fan in your life. So check them out today at the Huntington Mall or the Ashland Town Center. Scraggle Pop now ships nationwide. Visit their website at scragglepop.com to send your loved ones a tin of their favorite flavor. You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. ScragglePopKettlecorn.com.
KFB, the Better Bank, would like to wish you a happy holidays. May your days be filled with peace and joy. As we reflect on this past year, we would like to thank you for trusting us with your finances and look forward to serving our community in the new year.
Altizer Farm Supply wishes you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. As your trusted Central Boiler dealer, they're here to keep you warm this holiday season. Visit them on Centerpoint Road in Thurman, Ohio. Warm wishes from everyone at Altizer Farm Supply. This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Monday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of today's show. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're here at the Cam Henderson Center because tonight the Marshall men are in action taking on West Virginia Wesleyan. And then don't forget, we've got soccer coming up tonight. Later on, ESPN will be the home of, hopefully, Marshall's second ever national championship, looking for that second star. And so, busy night tonight. I'm sure a lot of you are kind of split on what you want to do. For those of you maybe opting out of the basketball game tonight, don't worry. We got you covered. You can still listen to it. We'll have it here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Also, we'll have that on 93.7 The Dog. So you can listen to that tonight if you're opting to watch the soccer game. And, of course, we will have soccer updates, hopefully. We'll be talking about a national championship when we get back on the air with you after Mr. Cotton's broadcast is concluded, and I'm sure he'll have updates as well. So however you're going to keep track of everything, we've got you covered at least on the radio side right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, and then on 93.7 The Dog. Let's go back to the text line. Texter says, Paul, Coach Gibson contacted all the players entering the portal. Looks like he was unsuccessful. Does this indicate a player disapproval of the new coach? I don't know how successful or unsuccessful he really was, because I'm sure some of the players already had their mind made up, and they're going with Coach Huff, and it was prior to the new coach being hired. And I'm sure some players are just waiting and seeing right now, hey, what's going to happen here? What are we going to have coming up? And so just because a player puts his name in the transfer portal doesn't mean he's going to stay. You could have a situation where players weigh their options, decide, you know what, I think we've got it situated enough where Marshall is where I still want to be. I like this new coach. We'll find out. We'll hopefully hear of players maybe deciding to stay. I don't know what the number ultimately is going to be, but you put yourself in the transfer portal, you're uncertain about what the situation might look like, and then you put yourself back in a situation where, okay, I think I'm going to stay at Marshall, or I'm still going to go somewhere else. So I don't know if it's ultimately a dissatisfaction. They meet him one time. I mean, how many times can you honestly say that you know what's best for you after meeting a coach one time? I mean, some of you can, some of you can't. But I think that I wouldn't put anything on Coach Gibson. And whatever happens, the team is going to be here next season. I think it's going to have a different dynamic. It's going to feel like a Coach Gibson team. We just don't know what that's going to be just yet. And that's the big question right now. What's that going to be? What's that challenge going to be for the Thundering Herd? All right, our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. For those of you that have been wondering about the end zone seats, I see from my vantage point they are starting to work on the structure of the new seats. I don't know when those are going to be completed. I'm hoping ready to go by the next home game. But for those of you that have been saying it looks atrocious, it looks horrible, well, they're starting the framework of putting those new seats in. How do I know this? Well, one, they've closed that section off completely. Two, I see the top frame. And three, the band is setting up right next to me. So it's going to get loud here real soon for the broadcast, but we'll be off the air. Plenty of time for them to get things fired up here, and then we'll be back with you after the game on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. All right, our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We have to hit our final break. When we continue, more of your text on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Basement Authority of West Virginia comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at basementauthorityofwv.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118. At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The holidays are the most cherished time of the year, but Jack's Auto Upholstery would like you to remember to continue these moments into the new year, not just during the holidays. And if you plan to celebrate, please be safe. From all of us to all of you, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Jack's Auto Upholstery, Pomeroy, Ohio, 740-508-1126. That's 740-508-1126.
This Christmas, Best Deal Equipment is grateful for you and our amazing community. We want to express our thanks for your continued support, our loyal customers. Stop by and check out our gas ATG excavators. On sale now for $4,200. Best Deal Equipment, Ripley, West Virginia. Merry Christmas.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our final segment. Today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Here at the Cam Henderson Center for Marshall and West Virginia Wesleyan. Both teams are on the court. Shoot around right now. Herd in the green uniforms tonight. I like that look. Wesleyan going to be in the orange look tonight, so I like it. I like the green look. I'm actually a fan of all the uniform combinations so far this season with the Thundering Herd. I know some of you are not. I like the greens, though. Those look sharp, so I'm glad the Herd's wearing the greens tonight. We'll get more of your texts in just a moment. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. As we've got a busy night basketball here at the Cam Henderson Center. I'm sure a lot of you may be listening right now from Cary, North Carolina. If you are, let me know on our text line as the Thundering Herd getting set to take on Vermont, possibly winning a national championship for the second time in soccer. So we get that second star on the logo. All comes down to this. That's happening tonight. And hopefully after we get off the air, we'll be talking about a championship in soccer and, of course, a good Thundering Herd win against Wesleyan. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't anticipate Marshall losing this one tonight, but I'm hoping Wesleyan can put up a good fight, at least make it interesting tonight. I hate looking over an opponent, and I hope Marshall isn't overlooking this opponent. They'll come out fired up. I anticipate that, but at the same time, I think Marshall obviously is going to outclass this team. As Coach Grassi would say, I think Marshall's quality will shine through tonight on the court. To our text line we go. Texter says, Paul, I don't know if anyone's pointed this out because I've only been able to listen part of the show, but the distribution of the number in position groups is more important than the total number on the remaining roster. Also, regarding the bowls and the new CFP, they are not NCAA-sponsored events. It's important to realize that. Absolutely. I appreciate that text. That's a good point. And I think we start with the quarterback position. 1, 2, and 3 are gone, including Cole Pennington. A legacy right there. Now, to be fair, I thought Cole was a capable quarterback, but I think he might thrive if he drops down a division. And that's not a knock on Cole. I think he was not going to get the opportunity, or at least he wasn't getting the opportunity. I mean, he could have, if there was at least enough of a nucleus of a team, he could have had the opportunity to start the bowl if Marshall would have had enough players. But with him out of the picture now, I don't know if I'm putting a quarterback that's maybe not really had an opportunity to play all year long. And what kind of protection is he going to get? You know, what kind of depth do you have at each position? You know, if you're missing position groups, you know, what are you going to get? You just don't want to throw, just because you have numbers, that doesn't mean anything. And that's a great point. And it's not been hit home enough. Maybe you have bodies, but do you have enough of them at the right positions? Yeah, this isn't back in the day where football players played both ways. It doesn't work that way anymore. I mean, unless you're a Heisman winner. Other than that, you don't have usual, you know, the quarterback's not playing tackle. I mean, the quarterback is not going to try to sack the other quarterback. It's not going to be two-way. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our number to be a part of today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. What's that football movie? There was a football movie years ago. It highlighted one of those two-way players. I'm trying to think of it real quick. Had Dennis Quaid in it. Anyone remember what that movie was? It's been so long since I've seen that movie. So I need to know what movie that was, because there was a film, and it kind of highlighted the two-way player. in that as well. I guess I'm going to have to look this up myself. And he's been in some good movies, and he's been in some bad movies. He was in the remake of Footloose. Come on, man. Come on, you're better than that. Dennis Quaid, you're better than that. You were in Any Given Sunday. I mean, he was also in Stripes, so he was in Inner Space. Great Balls of Fire, that was a good one. Which is that? What was that movie that he was in? He was a football player, and it was Everybody's All-American, right? That was the movie? Everybody's All-American. Came out in 1988. That's why I'm having a hard time. I haven't seen that probably since 1988. The Gray Ghost he played, a fictional football player at the University of Louisiana. And, he played two ways. You don't see, the Gray Ghost is not a concept for the most part anymore. You don't have those guys that can play two ways. Everything's specialized these days. And I wish we could honestly say, hey, the game of football was like it used to be. These kids are playing for school. They're playing for their team pride. And the system has allowed them to, honestly, and it's not a slight on anybody, but to look out for themselves. That's what the system has allowed, the system. And it's not entirely Marshall's fault. It's not entirely Coach Huff's fault. It's not entirely the system's fault. There's a lot of blame to go around for everybody. Nobody's hands are clean in this situation. Nobody. Nobody walks away clean. But it has cascaded into this point now where a lot of the talk is, hey, Marshall should have played, or the system failed Marshall, or Coach Huff failed Marshall. Well, it's a combination of everything. I think the truth's somewhere in there. But there's a lot of blame to go around for everybody. And this situation could have been handled better, yes. Are there things that we can learn from this situation? Oh, yes. This is going to be something that we talk about for a long time to come. And it's going to be maybe a focal point if something changes with college football. I mean, the bowls are the bowls, but if the transfer portal can be adjusted, maybe you need to take a look at it right now. Or we need to think about, honestly, do the kids want to play in the bowls? I mean, that's another consideration to keep in mind. Do the kids want to be in the bowl games? All right, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, I am really sorry for the seniors who have lost the chance for one last game. These kids have been playing organized ball since they were 5, and now it is over. And that's a great point. I appreciate that. For the kids who maybe lost an opportunity to play, if they wanted to play one final game, and now that's gone, they don't have that opportunity to play. Is it disappointing? Yes. Is the situation, is it one that would have been in their best interest to give them that one final game? I hope the university, the athletic department, the fans really get behind these kids and rally behind them. Let them know that you appreciate them being a part of the program. And for the kids that are returning, you appreciate them for sticking around. Let them know that you value them because, again, these kids come in and they go. But some stay, and they become special kids to a lot of Marshall fans. All right, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk basketball. Marshall taking on West Virginia Wesleyan. Thundering Herd looking to finish the home schedule in the month of December with a win. Back with you in a few moments here on ESPN 94.1 AM 930 and on 93.7 The Dog.